Good morning. I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you, talking to you about you and your business. Got a lot to talk about on today's program. Going to start it off with my very good friend, William Edmundson. He is extraordinary at what he does, and he does so much. He is the president of a cool company called Abbey Executive Suites that I think the whole executive suite industry is very cutting edge these days, which is kind of funny because, you know, what, you're talking about office space that people, you know, turnkey go in and that type of thing. Yeah, that is really cutting edge in an era where budgets are tight and where people like to do so much virtually now. They don't want to be bound by traditional offices. I tell you, it's really cool how things has panned out, and even the growth of technology has support companies like Abbey. Welcome to the program.
Well, thank you, Kevin, and good morning.
Early on, I do want to mention Abbey, ABBY.com, and you can always email Abby@Abby.com. What do you have lined up for us today?
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about something that I think is really builds off of what you were saying, Kevin, and that is in today's world, we, as an industry, the executive suites business, have really taken a bigger and more important place for businesses, whether it be small businesses, branch offices, companies really investigating new markets. And it really has become a popular idea. And part of that, Kevin, is because people don't want to have a big commitment to a long-term lease, a lot of space. You know, it's hard to get in. It's hard to get in a lot of the buildings, particularly in Houston right now, with a small amount of space. You simply can't do it. The demand is way too high, and the buildings aren't really even taking small clients in a lot of cases.
Right. And that's why it's odd, you know, because you're seeing all these buildings that are complaining and crying to come, you know, lease, but they make it harder and harder for businesses to do it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we really have learned at Abbey is, you know, it's not about us, it's about the client and giving them what they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and Kevin, when we talk to people, and we do surveys of our clients on a regular basis, and I'm just getting ready to send out an annual client survey for our office clients. And some of the things that we're really finding, you know, as I talk to people and things I'm going to ask about in the survey, really tied to flexibility. You know, the baby boomers were quite okay with, you've got this choice at this amount, you've got this choice at this amount. But that doesn't really work in today's economic environment. It doesn't really work with the style of the Gen X and millennials. And what people really want is they want to be able to build their own package. They want to be able to get exactly what they need. They want it when they need it. And that's really kind of how people want to do business now.
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting, you know, and a lot of that is driven by the internet. First of all, a lot of people want stuff for nothing.
Yeah.
There's this huge belief that I was just listening to my Pandora, you know, that torments me, you know, every 10 minutes with one commercial,
right,
with a customized station, you know, versus traditional music stations. And it's like we've got a very spoiled culture out there.
Oh, we do. And, you know, technology is kind of a double-edged sword, but you know, it's out there, and I don't think we're going to put technology away. So, you know, we really like to help our clients use it, and whether it be the revisions we've made to our websites and the ease of use for using our website, even down to, if, say, somebody wanted a virtual office because maybe they don't need a traditional office or they don't want a traditional office, we're still there to help them. So there are combinations, there are dozens of combinations that people can create out of what do they need. If they go to our website and go to virtual offices, you can actually custom build your own Abbey virtual office program with components from how you want your mail, you know, how much service you need for that. What do you need from a phone calling perspective? Maybe you don't need anybody answering your phone because it all goes to your smartphone, but maybe you want that professional image where it's being answered by somebody with your company's name. And the third component would be the workspace. You know, if you don't need a traditional office, we've got different sizes of packages, whether it be like 16 hours of using a conference room a month or 40 hours, or some people want to have even bigger packages because they're in the business of doing a lot of presentations. And Abby's perfect for that. If you look at Houston alone, we've got 17 locations that really serve as your branch office, so that just adds to that flexibility.
Yeah. Very, very true. No question about it. Talking about what's going on out there in terms of helping business owners have the maximum amount of flexibility, which I think is so needful in this economy. I wonder how long-term commitment contracts in general have fared the last few years in light of this conversation.
Yeah, it's tough because if you were to go to a building on your own and try and take a lease, they're going to try and get you for a multi-year contract right off the bat. And Abby's more than happy to lock somebody into a lease that's more than a year. But what we see is that people really, if they're doing an office, if they're taking an office, they really want to get a year's contract. So we're glad to do that. But sometimes there's uncertainty, or you want to try something out. So we'll work with people on a month-to-month contract. Kevin, we'll do even. We've got people that actually will come in and use our offices for a day. To do interviews, for example, or to have an important meeting, and make it look like they've got a full-time office. And if it works for them, then they'll investigate actually getting an office.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Talking again to William Edmundson. He's with Abbey Executive Suites, and what's cool is that they'll start off with the executive office and move to a regular office, but at no time are they under long-term commitments.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of it, because if I don't know about what you're seeing, Kevin, but we're really hearing from a lot of people that are successful, that are entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, or maybe with that big company. But the thing that I see most frequently in the successful people is that they're flexible and they can adapt to whatever situation they need to.
Yeah, no question about it. I think it's an interesting time we're living in. All right, again, we love to have William Edmundson on the program. He does a phenomenal job. He's with Abbey Executive Suites. You can email him at abby@abby.com. That's ABBY at abby.com. Make sure you mention the price of business. They always love to hear where you heard it. Also, the phone number over there.
Yeah, if you'd give us a call at 888-785-8800. Again, that's 888-785-8800, and do let us know that you heard about us on the Price of Business. And we like to know where the business comes from, as Kevin says.
All right, sounds good. Look forward to having you on again next week. I'm Kevin Price. More for you right after this on the Price of Business.